In the world of high-stakes politics and celebrity media, few transformations have captivated the public imagination like that of Barron Trump, the youngest son of former President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. Once a shadowy figure on the periphery of a polarizing presidency, Barron stepped into an entirely new light during his father's 2025 inauguration. A quiet figure for much of his childhood, Barron's reintroduction to the public was more than a growth spurt. It was a calculated, confident emergence that surprised even his parents. The world had been watching, but what it saw on that historic day marked a distinct turning point, not just for Barron, but possibly for the Trump family legacy itself. Barron William Trump was born on March 20th, 2006, into a world of privilege, wealth, and scrutiny. Unlike his older half-siblings, Donald Jr., Ivanka, Eric, and Tiffany, who were immersed in the Trump family brand from a young age, Barron's childhood was remarkably different. Melania Trump, fiercely protective of her only son, made it her mission to keep Barron away from the harsh spotlight that bathed Donald Trump's career in business and politics. Raised in Trump Tower's gilded interiors, Barron enjoyed a luxurious but unusually private upbringing. He had an entire floor to himself, a testament to the kind of resources that only the extremely wealthy can command. However, despite the opulence, Melania ensured that Barron's life was guided by discipline, privacy, and a structured environment. He was raised bilingual, speaking fluent Slovenian, and educated in elite private schools where Melania managed his schedule directly, eschewing nannies and delegations typical of high society families. Barron's formative years became especially unique once Donald Trump entered politics. In 2016, Barron was just 10 years old when his father won the presidency. Instead of immediately moving into the White House, Melania chose to remain in New York for several months so Barron could complete the school year in peace. This decision was more than parental. It was symbolic of Melania's determination to protect her son's normalcy. When the family finally moved into the White House in mid-2017, Barron entered a new realm of surveillance. Unlike previous first children, such as Sasha and Malia Obama or Chelsea Clinton, who occasionally appeared in public life, Barron was almost entirely hidden. His limited appearances became fuel for media speculation. Every rare sighting sparked commentary, from his posture to his expressions to how he stood beside his parents. Throughout Donald Trump's presidency, Barron remained a reserved figure. Protected from press exposure and largely absent from his father's political narrative, Barron nonetheless became a recurring topic of social media fascination. His height, demeanor, and elusive nature created an aura of mystery around him, amplified by the occasional photograph or video that surfaced during White House events. Amid this fascination, Melania continued to advocate fiercely for her son's privacy. When offensive jokes and unfounded rumors about Barron circulated online, including a viral suggestion that he might be autistic, Melania did not hesitate to take legal action and defend her son. She rejected any attempt to turn Barron into a public spectacle, reminding the world that, politics aside, he was a child entitled to a peaceful upbringing. Despite his sheltered life, Barron's interests were slowly coming to light. He developed passions for sports like football, spent time playing drums, and dabbled in coding and digital design. Friends and insiders painted a picture of a curious, tech-savvy young man more interested in software and gaming than politics or business. His affinity for digital platforms eventually led to whispered suggestions that he was helping behind the scenes with digital outreach for his father's 2024 campaign. It was during the 2025 inauguration, Donald Trump's historic return to the presidency, that the world witnessed the most striking evolution of Barron Trump. Now 18 years old and standing at a staggering 6 feet 9 inches, Barron appeared beside his father on stage, not as the awkward adolescent the public once remembered, but as a calm, charismatic young man. Wearing a perfectly tailored navy suit and radiating quiet composure, Barron captivated the crowd. His height alone made him stand out, but it was his demeanor that truly surprised people. When his father jokingly referenced his height during the speech, Barron responded with a subtle gesture, cupping his ear to amplify the crowd's applause that ignited a frenzy online. In that moment, the internet proclaimed Barron the King of the Internet, as his rare public charm signaled a possible readiness for life in the public eye. For Donald and Melania, the moment was deeply emotional. Melania, who had guarded Barron's privacy for nearly 2 decades, was seen discreetly wiping away tears as she watched her son command attention not through controversy or headlines, but through poised confidence. For Donald Trump, the father often known for his bombast, watching Barron take a more reserved but equally commanding approach was humbling. The aftermath of the inauguration saw Barron become a trending topic across all platforms. Unlike the carefully cultivated personas of his older siblings, Ivanka's polished diplomacy, Eric's business focus, or Don Jr.'s aggressive political rhetoric, Barron's mystique and quiet authority opened a new chapter in Trump family dynamics. Speculation ran wild. Would he follow his father into politics? Would he leverage his interest in technology into launching a startup? Or would he disappear again, choosing a quieter life outside the family brand? The lack of clarity only fueled the fascination. What stood out to commentators and audiences alike was the duality Barron represented. He carried the Trump name, but not the Trump volume. His gestures were subtle, his humor understated, his presence dignified rather than domineering. This contrast made him all the more intriguing, especially to younger demographics who admired authenticity and digital fluency over traditional political machismo. Much of Barron's character and emergence can be credited to Melania Trump's parenting philosophy. Unlike Donald, who encouraged public recognition and competition among his children, Melania took a more European, disciplined, and privacy-driven approach. She grounded Barron in cultural identity, insisted on manners, and emphasized independence over entitlement. Melania's emotional reaction at the 2025 inauguration symbolized years of investment in Barron's development. It was not just a political ceremony. It was the moment a mother watched her carefully shielded son take his place in a global narrative, not as a shadow of his father, but as his own man. As the dust settles after the 2025 inauguration, attention turns to Barron's future. Unlike his older siblings who followed clearer paths within the Trump organization or political campaign machinery, Barron remains undefined. Insiders have noted his growing influence behind the scenes during the 2024 campaign, particularly in digital strategy. While Barron didn't attend rallies or make public statements, sources claimed he contributed to viral content aimed at engaging younger voters. His interest in gaming, AI, and coding hints at a potential tech-focused career, perhaps launching an app, building a media platform, or founding a startup that rebrands the Trump legacy for Gen Z. Others argue that Barron could eventually enter politics, bringing a fresher, more modern face to the Trump dynasty. Unlike Donald Jr. or Eric, Barron's low-key presence and nuanced communication style could resonate with a new generation of voters tired of divisiveness. His upbringing, fluency in multiple languages, and global exposure through Melania's background position him as an unlikely but potentially unifying political figure. And then there's the third possibility, that Barron will reject the limelight entirely. Having tasted both the privileges and the pressures of being a Trump, he may carve a path entirely outside of family tradition, as Tiffany Trump did. What makes Barron's journey compelling is not just his transformation, but its timing. In 2025, as Donald Trump reclaims the presidency, his older children return to familiar roles. Ivanka, Eric, and Don Jr. resume leadership within business and politics. But Barron represents something different, a new face of the Trump legacy, shaped by digital culture, youth, and restraint. He is both a product of extreme privilege and a symbol of possibility. His life, long choreographed for silence, has begun to unfold with intent. And while he may not be ready to claim any formal role yet, his mere presence at the inauguration made one thing clear: the world is watching. Barron Trump's emergence is a story of transformation under pressure, identity under surveillance, and maturity born from privilege and protection. His 2025 appearance was not just an aesthetic shock, it was the culmination of years of preparation, isolation, and cultivation. He is the youngest child of one of America's most divisive political figures, but Barron is no longer just the youngest Trump. He is a tall, confident, curious young man, full of potential and ambiguity. And in a family where everyone has made their mark, Barron's true impact may just be beginning.